Hey guys, welcome to Face Value Theology. I am excited for this episode because this is our peer interview for our topic of time.
Our very first interview.
Yeah, our very first interview. And for that interview, we have brought in a friend of both Colton and I's, and his name is Kyle Evers. He's a friend of ours. We've both gotten to serve with him. And I will open it up to the floor for Kyle just to share kind of generally just about himself. Nothing crazy specific, just a couple minutes maybe.
Minutes. But thank you guys so much for the invitation to the podcast. I'm really excited. Actually, it was really cool. I was checking out my podcast and I see your two lovely faces pop up, and I thought that was really special. So I've enjoyed listening just about the time. And then I think who approached me to invite me? I don't remember. Maybe it was Alex. And
both of us.
Yeah,
we struggled communicating that to each other.
But either way, you are here. That's what counts.
It was awesome because honestly, it's been a blessing to get to listen to you guys talk and now to kind of join that conversation. But yeah, getting back to just how I got to know these guys. So I've worked with Colton in the past. We've worked camp and then just got to go know each other. Get to see his heart for camp has been amazing. And then with Alex, we've worked in a youth group together for several years. And getting to serve alongside both these guys has just honestly been a great time of growth and also challenge as well. Because I know, Alex, we get lunch dinner Wednesday nights. And honestly, it's a really good time of fellowship. And I thought that kind of worked in perfectly. You were mentioning being intentional with your lunches in one of the previous podcasts. And I was thinking, that's kind of part of your ministry is going and reaching people. And it was kind of cool to see how you back that up with what you were saying. So
that's cool.
Anyway, so I've been working here along these guys for about the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Awesome. Want to tell us a little more about yourself, like where you're from, likes, dislikes.
Absolutely.
Maybe your favorite sports team,
favorite
food. I don't know, just
certain sport or just any sports team?
Sport.
Okay.
Tell the world, what is Kyle like?
If I was to give any sports team my backing, like this is my sports team, the Collingwood Magpies. Now, to back that up, I grew up in Australia for 13 years. So that's an AFL team. If you don't know who they are, look them up today and tell me, is that not first the most amazing team ever? And then two, that's like the greatest sport of all time. You're running all over a field, just basically destroying each other. It's forget about the ball, just play the game.
Is this rugby or no?
No, this is
like American football.
No, it's
AFL,
Australian Football League.
Okay.
And I don't even know how to explain it. It would take too long to explain it, but basically you're on an oval. There's 4 posts on each side. You have a ball. You can kick it. You can throw it. You can tackle each other. It's a good old time. So
interesting.
Sounds like a camp game.
I have ideas now.
Introduce it. But going, that kind of reveals my history just a little bit. So I spent 13 years growing up in Australia and about pretty south, a little like 2 hours north of Melbourne is where I grew up. And then after that, we moved up to America, and I spent my high school years in Missouri.
Okay.
And that was an amazing place. I got to go to a church that my uncles ran, and they really just took up the discipling me, and I had an amazing time just getting to grow in Christ there. But then after that, I moved off to college, and that's where I've been for the last 4.5 years, working camp and getting to work in youth group and things. And it's been an amazing journey, but that kind of catches you up to speed. And then for going, you said I need to mention something about likes and dislikes.
Sure,
so
if you want to.
I guess a like would be pancakes. You were mentioning you went to Waffle House.
Excellent choice, yes.
Pancakes is a high like, and then dislike, bananas.
Really?
Bananas are not on the top of the list.
So if someone gave you like banana covered pancakes, you would like have a conniption, right? You wouldn't know what to do with yourself.
One sin corrupts the entire barrel, and you introduce bananas to it, it's corrupted. So I'd have to sadly throw it away. I'll say, no, we can't do this.
That's awesome. I love that. So again, we're here talking about time as we come kind of to the end. What Alex and I have been talking through, we've gone through different topics, different practical how-tos, and as we come to these interviews, we're just trying to we want to get, in a sense, a bird's eye view, but kind of help our listeners to see, hey, here's from a peers, a friends, an acquaintance point of view. Here's how we handle time, because then we're all close to the same age, all the same generation. And then on the flip side, later on, we're wanting to do in a sense, a pro interview, someone who is more, shall we say, seasoned in years, someone who has had more opportunities than us to deal with whatever topic we are talking about. And obviously today is time. And so, Kyle, one of the again, we're not going to do this full Q&A, but just to kind of get the discussion rolling, what do you think is the biggest struggle with time for Christians today? And this could be broadly. This could be people specific to our generation, people later on. What do you think is the biggest struggle with time for Christians today?
That's a good question. I think an important question too, because for us to truly overcome difficulties, we need to figure out what's the problem. Why are things not working? And I don't think it's a mystery that time management is one of our greatest weaknesses in this generation. I think that's not much of a no doubt question. But I would say one of the greatest struggles is we don't truly understand the value of time. We don't see it for the resource that it is, because it truly is a God-given resource. We don't know, and this is too, I think a struggle comes from we don't understand the scarcity of it. We don't know how many days, years, how much life God's given us. And I think if we truly understood that, it would completely change our view of time. And I think that can kind of be evidenced by our struggle to realize the value of it by using quick illustration. I mean, if you're working a job and you have a good boss and you love your boss and you want to impress him, which is not a bad thing. Whenever that boss walks into the room, you're suddenly extremely busy with your tasks. Say you're in a restaurant, you're washing all the dishes, you're working hard because you know your boss is watching. And so you're like, I need to do the job good. And you should be doing that all the time, but you have that extra motivation knowing your boss is watching right there. But for the Christian, that's always true. We know that God sees everything. He is everywhere at all times. And we don't realize, first of all, he's given us this resource time. And God wants us to spend that wisely. But then two, God is always watching. He's always in the room being like, okay, how are you going to use that resource you use? And I think we fail to realize that we are a steward of the time God's given us. And I think that would completely change how if I know there's certain things that I would never do, but I wouldn't spend my time there knowing that God right now is watching me being like, hey, is that really being a good steward of your time? So I think seeing the value of time would be our struggle that leads to that.
That's a really good way to look at it. I mean, we mentioned a couple episodes ago about, the thinking of time as in money. You receive a certain amount of money.
Currency.
Yeah, time is a currency. You have a certain amount that you can spend or waste. And Americans are so used to, specifically Americans, but I think really just kind of all of Western culture specifically, is so used to the luxury of, well, I'll be able to do it at this time. Like there are so many other things that can take my attention right now that aren't nearly as difficult. So I'll just push that back. And I think it's a really good perspective to think of it as it's not my own. I am a steward. I mean, Joseph is a perfect example of that in the fact that Potiphar gave him everything that he had, but Joseph recognized that it wasn't his. Like it was his responsibility to take care of it. And he did that abundantly above what was expected. And Joseph was praised and given authority because of his view of stewardship of time and resources. So that's really cool.
I think, and even to speak to that, I think of the parable that Christ told, where the husbandman in his vineyard or his farm, he was saying, hey, he was very successful, had this big vineyard, he's planting it, he has great, tremendous growth. He says, man, this is awesome. I'm going to continue to build more barns. I'm going to build this because I have this and this. And then what does Christ say? Then God comes to him and says, your soul is required of you now. What do you mean you're going to pull this off? You don't know when your day has come. And for us to say, procrastination, it comes so naturally to us. But that's our sin flesh. How much procrastination comes in our lives to say, oh, it's going to be okay. Just push it off. Just push it off a little bit. And for many of our listeners are currently in the depths of college. My, oh my, what does that do to your GPA?
I heard a quote recently, and I wrote it on a 3x5 card, and I keep it on my desk now. It says, I might mess it up, but basically procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you more time than he has already given you.
Oh, that's good.
And
that'll preach.
Believe it or not, I saw it while sitting on social media, and I was like, yep. All right. So
say that quote again for our listeners. That is so good.
Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you more time than he has already given you. And I keep that on my desk on a 3x5 card. And every time I see it, and I'm goofing around, you know what? You're right, Lord. I'm sorry. I am not stewarding the resource of time that you have given me. And that I feel like should be kind of the anthem of college students. We do not want to be arrogant in how we use our time. So
Yeah, I completely agree. Can I piggyback off something you mentioned? You mentioned about like, okay, in the American culture, this is something we struggle with time.
Mhm.
And that's something I found that if we're going back to like some of the struggles that we have with time management, I think one is, and this is, I think you see more on the Western side of the culture,
Yeah.
in Western civilization, is the belief that to be managing time well, you always have to be busy going at a million miles an hour. Now, growing up, I lived out in the country for several years. Let me tell you, there wasn't really a clock sometimes. It was so nice. And it wasn't because we were wasting time. It's just because we enjoyed what we were doing at that very moment. Because I think sometimes we confuse time management and using our time wisely as doing everything fast and always looking like you're doing this one task, but you're thinking of the 10 things you're going to do afterwards. But I think we also waste our time when we don't fully embrace the moment we're in and actually take a moment, breathe in what God has for you this time, and then focus on the next thing when you get past that. And I think if you're talking about a struggle, and I guess America especially, is we're all in a rush. We can't enjoy that moment. And I think that kind of bounces off your quote, is God's only given you this one time. We're arrogant and saying you're going to give us more. So we better enjoy that one moment he's given us with these people doing this task, I guess in college, taking this class, getting to be in this select group of friends, people you work with. Don't take that for granted. And I think part of using time wisely is actually going slow. And I know that sounds completely backward. What do you guys think of that? Going slow sometimes is how you use time wisely.
Well, I think what you just said, that goes back to kind of one of our first episodes, time as it relates to priorities. Those things that we prioritize to, let's say, with family or with our spouse, or if you're a parent of young children, it's your children. It's that, as you say, we're always in a rush. We're doing things a million miles an hour. There's times, especially for those priorities, those things that God has put in our lives, even for our walk with God, how we're sitting there in our devotions like, all right, get through this quick, read, pray, and we're off. It's like, no. God has given us these priorities to say, okay, here's what I've given you. You're a steward of this time for these specific priorities. So then as you're in the moment with each of those priorities, whether it is family, whether it is schoolwork, whether it is work in general, your job, we need to take the time to say, okay, Lord, right now, this is what I need to worry about. I know there are other things on the horizon. I know there are other things later on in the day. We're right here, right now, this very moment, whatever this, maybe it's getting that lunch meal. Maybe it's you're at work. Maybe it's spending time with your significant other. I know for us, we have the tendency to think of a million things at once. But how often I think for us to spend that time wisely, God wants us to say, hey, focus on this one thing. Something that my wife and I have gone through is that we're always feeling like, again, we feel like we're in that rush. And how many times have we told each other, saying, hey, if God is holding all things in his hands, okay, if God is holding all things that he knows we need to get them done, he's giving them to us one at a time. Why am I in my own strength trying to reach up and grab more out of God's hands and say, God, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
God is saying, hey, here's this one thing at this moment, do this.
Yeah.
Focus on this. And then when that's completed, hey, here's another thing. Hey, here's another thing.
Yeah.
For us to try and grab those things out of God's hands and to say, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I don't know if I have time, so I'm gonna try and get a little bit of this done. We just gotta be careful. We have to see that priority. Kyle, as you said, in a sense, be in the moment with how we're spending our time. Because what does the Bible say? And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord. So whatever that one single thing is, we got to do it to God. Do it for his glory.
Yeah.
Well,
in a sense.
I think we can see that aspect. I've never heard of it put the way time management, you have to slow down. But if you think about it, you never really see Christ in a rush. When he had an opportunity to minister to somebody, and obviously his entire ministry was talking with people, and they say that they could not write down all that he did.
Yeah.
We never see that Christ was in a rush. He was taking the time. He came across someone's path. He intentionally turned his focus and his thoughts directly to that person. And you never see Christ kind of healing with one eye and looking at the next thing that he was doing with the other eye, which is what I know I do that all the time. I'm having a meal with this guy, but my thoughts are going to the quiz the next hour. And that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is I need to take, like Christ, like we see, I believe the pattern of Christ. We need to keep our focus in the moment where God has given us the opportunity. Now, that doesn't mean, I don't think you mean that you can't stay busy, but that means when you are busy, you're intentionally directing your focus at the opportunities God has in front of you.
Yep.
And that's good. We didn't touch on that aspect of it, but that's a really good thought. Thank you.
It kind of just came from what you were saying, so you let it.
Okay, so the reason that we brought Kylan specifically was because we know that you have been a busy guy, and especially in your undergrad years. I don't know how that's translated into your master's, but we brought you in because we know, especially, like, you have gotten involved in a lot of things, but also we have been able to observe that you do intentionally focus in the areas that you have been given. So face value theology is practical. It's simple. So what are some things that you have found specifically for you that have worked in helping you manage your time and focus in on opportunities that come up?
Oh, okay. So what are some practical tips that have helped me?
And
okay.
In our last episode, we talked about some practical tips. Some of them weren't even spiritual. It's just like, hey, here's what I do.
Yeah.
This is how I manage my schedule. So some practical things that you find helpful in your own life.
No, there's some things that God taught me that it took kind of a crash course in using time wisely. I went from, high school felt busy, but it wasn't really. Like, I did a job, I did school. Okay, we survived. But coming to college, just to kind of explain real quickly, I was taking a pretty good credit load. Mm-hmm. I was working, and then obviously you have the friend groups, but then also I got put on a basketball team at the same time, so playing at a collegiate level. And all those things came in my life in one, just like, boom, it all happened. And I'm like, oh boy, how do I divide? And then you want to make sure you're pursuing Christ. You're not letting your devotion slide by, and you need to make sure your prayer life isn't going by. You're not in a constant state of feeling like you're rushing around. And then, not to mention, you gotta take sometimes a moment just to pause and breathe.
Yeah.
And then trying to find a balance was honestly really, God knew I needed that. And it was the challenge that I needed. And so something I started doing early, and this helped me so much, is, sorry, let me clear my throat. I'm going to choke.
Don't do that.
Can't learn how to speak. So what I would do is, and when I felt like my schedule was falling apart, when I wasn't prioritizing the right things, I would do like basically a back to the basics challenge. And so I would go throughout the day and I would write minute by minute what was happening. So I would review over the last hour. Okay, I went to this class. I did these things during the class. And then I'll go to lunch. I'd record the lunch. I'd record even like highlights of the conversation. I would track my entire day. And then I would get to the end of my day. So I'm about to head to bed. And then I would pull out my huge list of things. I actually did this. Funny enough, I taught about this just this last week in a lecture.
Okay.
So I was lecturing. I was telling the students, how do you make a change in how you handle your time?
Yeah.
And this was the example I gave. And so you get to the end of your day and you have your list of everything you've done. And I asked myself one question on every single part is, how does this glorify God? And so I would pick the activity. So I'd start at the top. And if it glorified God, I'm like, okay, how does this glorify God? Okay, it does this and this. I circled it and I kept it. If I get to the next thing and it doesn't, like, this does not glorify God, I would cross it out. And that's using the Colossians 3 principle. You put off, you renew, so you find the biblical answer.
Ephesians,
Yeah. Is it Ephesians?
It's in both.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
I know for sure.
Anyway, so I'm working on that. And so then I would go through my entire day. And then on the side list, I would have the things I need to add. Okay. And so once I crossed out enough things, like, okay, I could clearly add one of these things that I need to put back into my life. And honestly, doing that helped me get rid of a lot of things that I didn't need. They weren't inherently sinful,
Right.
but they were just things that I'm like, okay, I don't need to be doing this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to the end of my schedule and I'll see, okay, this is the things I should be doing, things I need to get rid of. And then I look at the list of things that I've done and I ask myself the question, if I get to the end of my life and these are the things I actually accomplished with it, would I be satisfied with what I did with my life? And doing that was a constant, like, okay, this is what I need to change, and it would be a challenge. Now, I would also say with that is not to get frustrated by not immediate change. It's a day-by-day growth thing. I found myself getting frustrated because I'd have the same issues like every time for the next couple weeks, but it was a little step-by-step. And that little practical tip just really helped me.
That's really
awesome.
good.
Yeah, time. I've heard of people doing time logs, and I give you much kudos because that's a lot. That's a lot to sit down, write out your entire day. But man, that's so good because even as you said, a lot of the things that we do, no, they're not inherently sinful. They're not. God's not saying like, how dare you? You took 3 extra seconds to dip your fries in the ketchup again? My goodness, what's wrong with you? Like we're thinking through like the little things that we do throughout the day, and it's okay, Lord, this is how I'm spending my time. And for some of us, man, some of us do that. We're gonna say, oh, that's a lot of. Okay, I'm doing that. I'm doing that a lot. I mean, we can look at our screen time alone, and like the apps we're spending time on is like, oh, that's where my time's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so good, just to keep track of your time.
Yeah, the example I wasn't exactly thinking of was dipping fries in ketchup, but
Right.
Oh, okay.
yeah, close to it.
Well, Colton's got a unique ability just to pull out random illustrations. Oh goodness. So this has been really helpful, and I think we've had some really good discussion. I've enjoyed this, and I'll open it up one more time to you, Kyle. Is there anything in regards to time that you would want to say? Okay, if I had to share like this one idea, and if not, that's okay. But if I had to share this one general thought, it would be this before we wrap up.
You can never waste time studying the Bible. That is the reason I studied youth ministries in college. Had no idea what to study. And I was thinking, it was in a sermon I listened to. It was completely out of context. The pastor was talking about the importance of devotions. And he said, you can never waste the time studying the Bible. So I said, bet. I'll spend 4 years studying a degree. And I don't regret it at all. I never changed my major. I graduated with a Bible major in youth ministries. But if you're thinking, I don't know what to do with my time, you will never waste your time talking to God, studying the Bible. And I can add on to that. It is showing God's love to others. Yeah. Those are things that you will never look back on and regret. Yeah. So when in doubt, open the Bible. So I think that should be our go-to, because sometimes we hit the part of the day where you're thinking, how can I use my time wisely? Well, if you don't know right now, open the Bible. That should be your go-to. Whether that's you're standing in line somewhere, open your phone. Pick up a verse or two. Whether you're walking somewhere and you have 5 minutes, okay, talk to God. Be conscious of what you're doing. It's using these be a master of the scraps of time. But overall, I would say just you can't waste your time studying the Bible.
It's really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, we do have to go, but this was really great. Thank you, Kyle, for coming out.
Yes.
I mean, we've told you guys we record Saturday mornings, so Kyle got up. We all got up early.
What do you mean?
Just Kyle got up Saturday morning to record. We
dragged us up. No, Kyle, we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we hope that for our listeners that this discussion with Kyle has been a blessing to you.
Yeah.
And we hope to do this more often. We may even have Kyle back on potentially for another different topic. You never know.
Awesome.
Thank you. It's been an honor and a ton of fun. So looking forward to it. So thank you guys.
Yeah, of course.
Once again, guys, if Face Value Theology has been a blessing to you, please feel free to like, share it, give us a 5-star review. And again, if it can be a blessing to someone, share it with them. That's our goal.
Yeah.
We want to be a blessing, spread God's love, and be a blessing in that way. So
we love you guys. See y'all.